Hi students, standard 11, Hornbill, poem number 5, The Lebanon Top, written by Ted Hughes. Lebanon is a very short tree with shining yellow flowers, and here the poet explains the time of September. So that is a autumn season for Lebanon. Here the poet explains the Lebanon top, that is the last branch of the tree, and especially if I am talking about the types of this poem, that is when you will go through the complete poet, you will find there is no rhyme at all. Rhyme means the last word is interconnected with the sound of the previous line. So in that case, it is, we can say this is a no rhyme poem, but on the other end we can say it's a free verse poem, and plenty of figures of speech are used in this poem to explain his idea about the natures, about the creation of natures, wonderful creation of nature. So I will begin with the poem. The Lebanon top is silent, white and still. Here the poet tries to explain that it is a month of September, and that is autumn for Lebanon. And that is why during the afternoon in autumn season the trees are completely silent and still, without any kind of movement. In the afternoon, yellow September sunlight. Here the poet compares the sunlight is also yellow, the flower of the tree is also yellow, and due to autumn the leaves of the tree is also yellow. So here the poet used the yellow color very meaningfully. A few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. Yes, one thing I would like to share with you, that Lebanon tree has shining yellow flower, but on the other side its seeds are poisonous. A yellow leaves yellowing, few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen, and due to this autumn season the seeds were fallen. So this is the first stanza for you, and in first line the word quiet, that shows the quality of a person, and that is why we can say that personification is there. But we cannot go with alliteration, and some students say that sir, silent and still both are beginning with S, but that is, we can say the word quiet is in between them. So it is known as consonants. It is not purely alliteration, but in the second line you can go for alliteration, because September and sunlight, S is repeated. For the second stanza, till the golden finch comes with a twitching chirp. Twitching, that is a sudden movement, a suddenness a startlement at a branch end, and suddenly a goldfinch is also yellow with black spots overhead. So suddenly the goldfinch came over there and sat at the end of the branch. So here two lines are continuing without any stress. So here you can go with enjambment. It is called enjambment. 2 or 3 lines in the poem continue. That is called enjambment. Then slick as a lizard and alert and abrupt. Here the word as is used. Slick as a lizard. That line is simile. And alert and abrupt. And alert and abrupt. So here same alphabets are used. That is called assonance, or we can use alliteration also. But alphabets, same alphabet is used, and assonance. In first line, I have given you silent and still, that is consonance. Of chittering and a tremor of wings and trailing. She enters the thickness and the machine starts up. She enters the thickness. What thickness? Thickness of the laburnum tree. And thickness, that means very thick area of the tree, where that goldfinch had a nest, and its kids, small babies, are there in the nest, and suddenly when the mother reached there, they shouted. And that compares to the machine, the sound of machine. That is, we can say that is metaphor, and that is one sound. That is why it is onomatopoeia. The whole tree trembles and thrills. It is the engine of her family. The center of the tree, where the nest is, it is the engine of the family, because the goldfinch had a nest over there. It is a part of its life, and it is the engine of a family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch and showing her bad and face identity mask. During this, the shining yellow flower and the color of this goldfinch is that much same. You cannot identify the bird without the black line over its head. So it is its identity mask, the black color of the shadow overhead, that is the identity of that goldfinch. So with that you can identify that there is a goldfinch and this is the laburnum flowers. Then with airy, delicate whistle chirp, whispering, she launches away towards the infinite. Infinite, that is sky. Here, whistle chirp, whispering, enjambment. She launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. And after that, the children of the goldfinch became silent again, and silence returns to the tree, and the goldfinch fly away to the sky, infinite sky. Laburnum subsides to empty, and that is the silence, silence, silence everywhere. So this is the poem of Ted Hughes, The Laburnum Top, and with the use of some figures of speech, the use of figures of speech skillfully, without any kind of verse, free verse, complete, and without any rhyming. Most probably poem is not possible without rhyming, but here some poet use their skill and explain the ideas in poetic way without rhymes. So here is one poem for you that is without rhymes. Thank you.